in the area of finances. So a lot of pastors and churches have been stressed up and struggling with financial situations. We want you to share with us what biblical principles and practical steps a local church can take to move from financial survival to stability and supernatural provision. Thank you.
Well, we started ministry somewhere in Nigeria that can be regarded as one of the poorest locations in terms of economics. And at the time where we started, it became customary for the government to owe civil servants salaries in accumulation of 6 months. So the normal financial channels, even if you put pressure on the people, will not yield any result. So it was under that circumstance. And my city has been plundered by a lot of people, money-raising experts that churches have contracted to come do all of that. So that level of abuse was also present in this very difficult situation before we set out to start our ministry. The thing about giving is that giving is contagious. If the person that God has sent is a giver, it will influence the people. So I can tell you this. For 8 years, I and my wife sustained that ministry. If you give, if you want to give, if you don't want, no problem, but the money will be made available. So we set that example for 8 years. Now, after 8 years, I don't know what God did, but people now began to feel guilty. Because, so that's our own personal experience. People began to feel guilty and they started becoming responsible without any effort to make them, to encourage them to give. So it was a direct act of God's intervention on the hearts of men. That's number one. Number two, if you want people to give, then you need to improve your impact. What impact is your ministry having? Now, if there is no significant impact, you will need to manipulate the people to give. If there is real impact being felt, my God, you don't need any manipulation. I don't know, I don't want to give an example. Let me just leave it. If there's no impact, forget about it. You will resort to manipulating the people to give. I relocated from my previous mission field into another mission field. And still following the old principles of impact. The thing that I normally hear from people in my nation in that same mission field that constitutes their limitation, I did not experience that limitation because of impact. So before you say you have a ministry, make sure you sharpen your impact edge so that you will not become a beggar and a cajoler and a manipulator. Once there is impact. So we have seen people, well-to-do people, and I don't want to be too specific. I don't want to say millionaires, but that's what they will be. We have seen them. They've been following online for 5 years, some for 8 years, never came out publicly or openly to identify with what we're doing, And then after about 5 years, there are confusions about participation. They were cleared. And they came of their own accord and committed to be part of what. So we've seen people that believe that they are called to finance God's work and that God has allocated them to our ministry to partner. So absolutely no manipulation, no nothing.
Wow.
Impact, critical. And then you yourself must set the example of giving in the house.
Wow. Thank you so much.